This is my favorite sea trout river. The river is quite narrow, but we get really big sea trout going up here. The biggest sea trout weigh around 8, 9, 10, even 11 and 12 kilos. When we're fishing for these big sea trout at night, we use rather big, dark flies. They have to be dark and big so that they can see them, but also have some contrast. To cast these big flies, these switch rods are really great. I can use a class 4 or class 5 switch rod to fish these. I just have to shorten my leader, so I have about a rod length of leader material all in all. The tip of my leader must be really heavy, 0.35 millimeter, because then I have a really stiff leader that can turn over the big fly. Another advantage of the switch rods on rivers like these is that a switch rod is longer than a single-handed rod. So I can stay in here, away from the brink, on the bank here, away from the water. That means that I'll be less visible to the fish. Still, I'll be visible, you know, it's nighttime, there's moonlight and stuff, so they can still see me, but if I stand in here, I'm more hidden than if I stand right on the brink. So I have my rod tip lying just over the water at the point where the water meets the brink. When fishing these big flies, your fly casting becomes a part of your fishing strategy. I have to get the fly across to the other bank, as close to the other bank as possible, and then I have to bring it across the river in high speed. That means that I have to have a very sharp angle on the water. I use my switch rod as a single-handed rod in this situation. And I have to remember the 180-degree rule, that direction backwards is the same as direction forward. So I bring the rod around, I raise the line, bring the rod around, stop, cast, and then I stop in my front stop and put the rod tip down close to the ground. By doing this, I manipulate the angle of the line so that I get a more steep angle on the water. And then I use the length of the rod. By raising the rod tip, I can bring up speed on the fly. It looks like this. So I raise the line, circle the rod, stop, stop, and then put the rod down. Then I raise the rod. By doing this, the fly will come out sweeping across with huge speed. And this is very effective if I'm fishing for sea trout that are lying on the other bank. So, circle, stop, bring your rod down, raise the line. You can combine this with a slow stripping of the line. This will again increase the speed.